The elders of the mountain villages always taught the same warning. Never enter the deep forest after sunset. And if you hear your name being called from the darkness, do not answer. The warning was older than the villages themselves, older than the temples, older than the roads that eventually crossed the mountains. It was tied to an ancient creature known only as the Why. Some described it as a giant ape-like creature. Others claimed it resembled a man covered in dark fur. Its arms were unnaturally long. Its eyes glowed red in darkness, and upon its chest was a patch of crimson fur the color of fresh blood. The red chest was said to be its symbol of authority, its crown, its mark as ruler of the wilderness. The elders taught that not all Why were evil. Some protected sacred parts of the forest, some guided lost hunters home, some punished those who harmed nature without reason. But there were others. The cursed ones, the flesh-eaters, the blood-drinkers, the hunters of mankind. Once a Why tasted human blood, it was said to become something else entirely, something that even other Why feared. For generations, villages near the black bamboo forest lived peacefully. Hunters hunted, farmers farmed, children played beside rivers. Life was simple. Life was safe. Then the disappearances began. First came livestock, goats, dogs, chickens. Then came hunters, then travelers. Then entire groups vanished without explanation. Search parties entered the forest. Few returned. Those that did often spoke of feeling watched, followed, hunted. One morning, villagers discovered something they would never forget. The body of a hunter hanging nearly 40 feet above the ground. No rope, no ladder, no explanation. His chest had been ripped open. His heart was gone. Fear spread through the mountains like wildfire. People stopped traveling after sunset. Children were forbidden from leaving village boundaries. Even experienced hunters refused to enter the black bamboo forest. The villagers knew exactly what hunted them. An evil Why. Several shamans attempted to destroy the creature. The first disappeared. The second returned blind. His hair had turned completely white. He never spoke another word for the rest of his life. The third was found dead beside his altar, his protective charms shattered, his ritual circle broken. Each had failed, and the killings continued. Finally, the village elders sought help from an old monk named Venerable Somchai. By then, Somchai was nearly 70 years old. His beard had turned white. His body was thin from decades of meditation and fasting. Yet stories about him were known throughout the mountains. People claimed wild animals obeyed him. Others believed evil spirits fled whenever he approached. Whether those stories were true or not, everyone agreed on one thing. He feared nothing. When the elders finished explaining the situation, the old monk sat quietly, his eyes closed, his hands resting upon his knees. For several moments, he said nothing. Then he opened his eyes and simply said, "I will go." The elders begged him not to. "You are too old. You will die." The monk smiled, a calm smile, a peaceful smile. "We all die someday, but not all deaths are equal." The next morning, he entered the black bamboo forest alone. No sword, no spear, no companions. Only a wooden staff, prayer beads, and faith. The deeper he traveled, the darker the forest became. The bamboo grew so thick that sunlight barely reached the ground. Strange sounds echoed among the trees, branches snapping, leaves rustling, footsteps, heavy footsteps, always behind him. Yet whenever he turned, nothing was there. Something was following him, something patient, something intelligent. For 3 days, the hunter and the hunted observed one another, waiting, studying, learning. Then came the 4th night. The forest fell silent. No insects, no birds, no wind, nothing. The old monk slowly opened his eyes. He knew. The why had finally come. Moonlight filtered through the bamboo. Then he saw them. 2 glowing red eyes staring from the darkness, watching, unblinking. A massive figure slowly stepped forward, nearly 8 feet tall, its body covered in dark fur, its arms hanging almost to its knees, its claws long enough to tear through flesh and bone. And upon its chest, a patch of crimson fur that seemed to glow beneath the moonlight. The why. The creature stared at the monk. The monk stared back. Neither moved. Then something terrifying happened. The creature smiled. Rows of yellow teeth emerged from darkness. Human teeth. Some old, some new. Trophies from countless victims. The monk understood immediately. This creature had fed upon humans for years, perhaps decades. Suddenly, the why vanished, gone, as though it had never been there. But Somchai remained calm. He knew the attack would come. Not now, not from the front. Creatures like this preferred fear, ambush, surprise. Hours passed. The darkness deepened. Then, just before dawn, the forest exploded. The why charged from behind, moving faster than any human should be able to move. Its claws reached for the monk's throat. At the last possible moment, Somchai slammed his staff into the earth. Ancient prayers echoed through the forest. The air itself seemed to tremble. The why roared. A roar so powerful that birds erupted from trees miles away. The mountains shook. The forest screamed. And the battle began. For hours the creature attacked. Again and again and again. Trees shattered, rocks cracked apart. The earth itself tore beneath their struggle. Blood stained the ground. The monk weakened, yet he refused to fall. As sunrise approached, the why became desperate. Its attacks grew wild, violent, uncontrolled. Then it made a mistake. It lunged directly toward him. Somchai raised both hands and spoke one final prayer. A blinding light erupted across the forest. Thunder shook the mountains. And then, silence. Complete silence. The why was gone. But before his death 3 days later, the old monk spoke one final warning. The creature is dead. Then he slowly looked toward the forest. His eyes filled with sorrow. It was not alone. To this day, hunters still report seeing glowing red eyes deep within the mountains, watching, waiting, patiently. And if those stories are true, then somewhere beyond the last trail, beyond the last village, beyond the reach of sunlight itself, the rulers of the forest still remain. watching mankind, waiting for the day their kingdom is threatened once again. And if you ever encounter one, pray that it is one of the good ones.